Chloe. Hey, congratulations on your new film, Kryptic.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for talking to about this very interesting film. No one knows what to expect out of this film, but more of a congratulations. It is being showcased at South by Southwest. I mean, how do you ladies feel about that?
Um,
Amazing, of course.
yeah, it's super exciting, and I feel like I've said this a few times, but it's like I felt like the perfect festival for this film, and just from the process of making it, and yeah, I'm just really excited to attend.
Most excellent. Well, let's ask that obligatory question first is what initially drew you that you want to be part of this project? I'll start with Kourtney. What drew you that you wanted to direct Kryptic?
It was by the instigation of Paul, the writer. He's a good friend of mine, and Paul and I were out. I hadn't seen him for a few years, and we're out drinking a lot of wine one evening, and he said, "I'm going to write a script for you based on your work, your photography work." And I said, "Oh, like a little, like a short." He's like, "No, a proper feature film, and we're going to work on it together." And I thought, "Oh, okay." So it was really a very organic, easy process in a way. We just kind of got together and we started working on what are things we would like to see in a film. What do you want to see in a film? And I said, I want to see monsters and I want a supernatural element. And, I want awkward sex scenes. And he said, well, I want a road movie and I want a female based point of view. And I want doppelgangers, So there's all these little elements that we just kind of sort of put together on a page. And then we just started kind of going, well, what can we do with this? And we started just kind of working around about how can we piece all these little disparate elements together to make a story, basically. And then he went away and he would just start writing, and he'd come back to me a month or so later and show me what he had, and we'd talk and keep going. So it wasn't like I saw it and I was drawn to it. It was a kind of intricate part of the story making itself was right from the beginning.
That is true. That is true. What about for you, Chloe? Why did you want to, star in a film like Cryptic? Because this is I want to say this is far different from a lot of things I've seen you in before.
It certainly is. I think it was just such a it was a really fun script to read. The humor in it really came out very quickly for me, and she's the opportunity to play somebody who may or may not be two, possibly more people who may also be a monster, may also be like a fictional character, or just be herself having entered an entirely different stratosphere. Like, it's just such a and is a rootable character throughout. It was just such an interesting proposition, and I really enjoyed the process of meeting Kourtney and reading it and offering up possible versions of scenes, and watching Kourtney's work as well. The whole thing was just really fascinating and alluring as an actor.
Excellent. Kourtney, you mentioned photography was one of your specialties. Could you talk about the cinematography and lighting to feature the mood throughout this entire film? Because it is very distinct through, from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean that I can talk as much as I can about it. So obviously I had a DP, a wonderful DP, David Bird, and we actually I had the luck of actually having him like about 3 weeks before filming. He came to he came to Canada, so we basically got to hang out every day for 3 weeks and watch movies together and talk about it, right? And they had, so it was really basically like kind of immersing him into my world and asking him to, can you translate my photography into film? And obviously I think he did a really amazing job. So it was, as much as I know about it, like he was just, I was like, interiors, nighttime. So I always said fantasy, and he was always struggling with the word fantasy. And he goes, "Oh, I know." And then he kind of came back and he goes, "I think what you mean is surreal." Like, so he would find his own words to correspond to what I was saying, right? And so it was definitely probably a fun challenge for him, to create this very kind of colorful and very very sort of visually I would say hyper colorful world, right? Which I don't think he normally does. He's a wonderful cinematographer, but what drew me about his work as well is that I could see in his work that he could really adapt to different situations, which was important, you know, that he wasn't a cinematographer who's like, this is my style and I do it only this way, you know, like it was, you can see that he collaborates and that he's open-minded, right?
And Chloe, tell us how you get into your character, I'm question mark
Yeah.
mindset. I mean she goes through so many different things and I'm not how do you follow the character yourself?
Um, it was really, a lot of it is just me trying to connect to trying to find a journey from the beginning to the end. And actually, weirdly, with this film, that was not a challenge, because there is although it's insane, every person she meets moves her forward in the story, if that makes sense. And she does have these, like, there's a linear aspect to that where, like, she's kind of estranged from herself, and then she goes on a process of self-discovery and discovery of her environment, um and a world beyond that, but in her imagination possibly. Like, it just kind of, like, every single person I interacted with in character, like, informed what I did. And also, we had such amazing set designers, and um DOP, and all these elements kind of coming together really just help you as an actor to, like, make sense of something. I'm a big believer in, like, learning your lines backwards, and it sounds so basic, but, like, I'm a big on that, because I want to feel as free as possible, so that I'm not in my head, and getting out of your own head, you know, like, that's always the joy. And when you can really trust a director, and you trust the people you're collaborating with, and which we really had to do with only like 17 days of shooting, like, it's just, you just got to get on the train and like stay on it, you know, keep up.
Courtney, Asuka, I think that's what it's pronounced as
Yeah.
in the film. Tell us about trying to imagine the Asuka is and how you wanted to portray it on screen.
That's a good question, because obviously when we're working on it with Paul, the script, you know, in writing you can kind of just sort of say and you know, adjectives that kind of give a mood to the creature without having to really describe it. And so it was obviously I made some mood boards for the FX team. But I had it quite open. I think some of the descriptions are like, you know, I had two mouths on it, and like a big, you know, big covered in fur, and that's about it, right? So what do you do with this? And I let Emerson, who was, you know, the head of the FX on this project, and I just kind of gave him my mood boards, and he just went off and did some stuff, and I didn't actually really see the monster to like what it looked like till like 2 days before filming. So it was a bit of a nail biter, like, oh my God, what's this monster going to look like? And I remember saying to my first AD, like, God, I haven't even seen this monster. Like, you know, I'm just stressing out a bit, not in any crazy way, but going like, this is a big thing. Like, if it looks like shit, we're fucked. And he kind of said like, you know what? He's like, Emerson's a master. Just let him go with it. Whatever he's going to show you, you're going to be happy. And I was just like, he's got to, like, Chloe, he's got to trust it. So I just had to, like, a lot of stuff was just based on trust. Like, whatever people are doing, they're just going to do it. And hopefully it's going to be great. And it was, you know, when I saw it, they sent me some pictures, and I was just like, oh my God. So it was better than what I imagined, which is always a lovely surprise, and usually always happens. Whatever was in my mind, somebody else is going to do it better. That's what's great about working with crews.
That does sound actually pretty good. Chloe and Courtney could add on to this. I I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to call it intimacy scenes.
Sorry.
Definitely a few of those.
I
So
love making scenes. Love me.
yeah, let's call it intimacy scenes here. How did you wanted to pull that off, and what was it like? Doing those scenes. I'm assuming that maybe there wasn't a need for an intimacy coordinator, but
Well, no, there actually really was, and like, I think what's great about that department that we now have, like, in the film industry, is it, like, really creates another opportunity for storytelling that's sort of been denied for a long time, because people are just left to kind of get on with it. And so you actually end up with a lot of really kind of unimaginative ideas of intimacy on film, which I think, and so this was like another department that came in, much like we're talking about with the sets and costume and, you know, lighting. It's an opportunity to further express this person and what's going on. So we had like, I mean, there were some intimate scenes that I had with like inanimate things maybe, or animated things that are not, you know, that were probably in reality props. That was all one thing, but also that was a really great, because of Kourtney's background in photography, there were moments in this where I suddenly felt like I was on a shoot, like, because you know, you were able to just direct the stranger elements in this way, as though, yeah, it was a really like amazing thing actually. So yeah, we were really well supported, and Jeff, who I did a lot of some of those scenes with that are slightly darker, you know, we just worked really well together. And oh my god, I'm so distracted by your cat in the background, it's so cute. Yeah, but like we just had a lot of fun with them. And yeah, it was enjoyable, and yeah, great.
So Kourtney, can you add how you wanted to pull this off? Because I want to say it's all practical, and Chloe is such a good sport of getting down and dirty.
Yeah. I mean, the intimacy scenes, I mean, in the film itself, they come off, obviously, I'm assuming they're gonna probably come off as unsettling and disturbing. But you know, on set, it was actually a lot of fun. You know, we were just, you know, I was, you know, we have Emerson and his crew would come up, and they had like a giant cavity, which looked like a giant vagina that they would crawl in and be covered in mucus. And, you know, it was absolutely ridiculous. So there is a sense of fun and the sense of like, you know, it's okay because it's just all so over the top that it was quite liberating in a way, you know. And with an intimacy coordinator too, you know, these scenes, they're so worked out already, you know, in advance with Chloe and Jeff and her, and you know, consulting with me, that it was nothing was left to question or to ambiguity. So there was no uncomfortable moments. Everybody felt comfortable. So it worked really well, basically.
Well, it definitely was a eye-opening, memorable scenes. Well, let me wrap this up. What's up next for you ladies? Chloe, why don't you go ahead and start?
I am currently in Scotland shooting a Netflix show. It's a series called Department Q, which Scott Frank has written, and who I've worked with before on The Queen's Gambit, and he's directing a lot of it as well. So I'm really enjoying doing that at the moment.
Excellent. And what about for you, Kourtney?
Obviously, I would, I have, you know, some ideas for the next feature. As well, I'm also just actually kind of knee deep in some photography projects as well. So kind of got my finger in a lot of pies as well.
Sounds great. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us about Kryptic, and hopefully, if you travel to South by Southwest, you folks have fun over there too. So it is a very interesting film, and no one would expect what to expect in a film.
Good, that's perfect. I love it. I'm so happy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Really
much,
appreciate it.